My name is Lydia Miller, and I'm the Director of Religious Education here at the Amarillo Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, and I am so happy to be worshiping with you today, wherever you may be. We are an inclusive congregation that welcomes your whole self, inclusive of all your identities, complexities, and situations. We recognize that we are all a work in progress, and we are all in this together. Please join me in saying our opening affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship. For these high purposes do we unite in worship. This light we kindle is set in the lamp of our history. We inherit this free faith from the brave and the gentle, the fierce and the outspoken, the hearts and minds that have come before us. Let us be worthy inheritors of this faith and pass through our good works boldly to a new generation.
Welcome. Welcome to the right now. It's not what it used to be, and it's not what it will be. It's right now. The right now includes beauty and pain, joy and sorrow. The right now includes you and me. And all that the right now asks is that we show up. Welcome. And now, kids, come a little closer. I want to tell you about something that happened the other day. I was at the grocery store. I had my list. I was picking things out and checking them off. Came to one thing on my list, pickled bumbleberries. They would be good in dinner tonight. So I went to the part where the pickled bumbleberries were, and there they were. They were up high on that shelf. And I was all the way down here on me, and I couldn't reach the pickled bumbleberries. There's nobody around who could tell me. I thought about climbing up to get them, but it's a little dangerous. I might knock something over. I might fall off. I wanted those pickled bumbleberries. Well, in the meantime, I went and got my oatmeal and cat food, and then I came back, and the pickled bumbleberries were still up there on that high shelf, and I'm still down here, and oh wait, there's somebody over there. Somebody who's looking like they need something too. I said, excuse me, could you help me? This person came over. They were taller than me. I said, I am trying to reach something up there, but I can't reach it. And they said, what do you want? I said, the pickled bumbleberries, the ones right there. This other person just reached and got it. Handed the pickled bumbleberries to me. There you go. Thank you. He said, maybe you can help me. I said, what kind of help? I mean, there you are. You're so much taller. You can get anything you want, right? He said, well, I can't find the spelt nuts. They're usually around in here, but I said, well, let me look. And I looked at, okay, the spelt nuts, they should be down here on the bottom shelf. The bottom shelf looked like it was empty. But I'm short enough, I could see there was one last box of spelt nuts way in the back. I could see that because I was not very tall. And I got down and I got the box of spelt nuts. Here you go. That person got what they wanted. I got what I wanted. We helped each other out. And we helped each other out by being exactly who we are. I am not tall, and they are tall. So I'm telling you this because I want you to know that the things that sometimes you think are your limitations that make it hard for you to do the things you want are actually the things that are going to make it easy for you to do other things. All right? Don't sell yourself short, and don't get too worried about being exactly as you are. I love you so much. I hope I get to see you soon, because soon we will all be together, able to play and tell stories to one another. So until then, love you. At this time in our service, we recognize the joys and concerns of the community. This is a candle of such great joy. Brent Biles is now a grandfather. His granddaughter, Emma Rose, arrived this week. Congratulations. And this is also a candle of great joy. Julian and Emily Escobar welcomed their daughter, Freya Ring, into the world this past Monday. We are so happy for their family. There were so many other things that happened too. This week, Eleni had her first piano recital. And our dear little Jocelyn completed kindergarten. That's a big milestone. And both Savannah and Kylie received Superintendent Scholar Awards. You guys are amazing. This is a candle of concern. Sharon Baker's husband, Jerry, is going in for a heart cath on Monday. Please keep Jerry and Sharon in your thoughts. Now this is a candle for all of the joys and concerns which were not raised and shared, yet are held keenly in our hearts. This is the fourth Sunday of the month, and this is a service that aims to include all ages. So when we include all ages, we like to do this Buddhist metta meditation together. So we're going to say some very simple words 3 times. The first time, we say them for ourselves. The second time, we say them for somebody who we love or care about. The third time, we say these words for someone with whom we might be unhappy, or as we might say, with whom we're not in right relationship. I'll say the words first, and then you say them after me. First time, you say it for yourself. May I be free from danger. May I be happy in my mind. May I be happy in my body. May I have ease of well-being. Now, second time. Say these words for a person who you love, who you care about. Put that person in your mind. May you be free from danger. May you be happy in your mind. May you be happy in your body. May you have ease of well-being. Third time, said for a person with whom you're not in right relationship. Get that person in your mind. May you be free from danger. May you be happy in your mind. May you be happy in your body. May you have ease of well-being. Blessed be.
Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come mystery? What are we? Life where are we going? Where do we come? What are we? Life where are we going? Where are we going? What are we? Life where are we going? Where do we come? What are we? Life where are we going? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Mystery. Life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery. Life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? Life is a riddle and a mystery. Where are we going? Life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where are we going? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Mystery. What are we? Life where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Life where are we going? Where are we going? What are we? Life where are we going? Where do we come? What are we? Life where are we going? Where are we going? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going?
Because of our culture, we think of time as a linear process. Past, present, future, all neatly laid out, always pointing in one direction, towards the future, away from the past. Yes, we have repeated units of time, days, months, years, but they are all still lined up and usually displayed in a linear manner, like our calendars are read from left to right, top to bottom. We create lovely linear timelines that show events in relationship to one another, all mapped out with very tidy, specific dates. For example, the U.S. Civil War ran from April 12th, 1861 until April 9th, 1865. During that same time, Louisa May Alcott began writing novels to earn much-needed money. And around that same time, her neighbor, Henry David Thoreau, was dying of tuberculosis. When asked if he could see what lay beyond life, he replied, "One world at a time." We are in the habit of lining up events so that we can better understand them in relationship to one another. When was past? When is present? When will be future? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? This is because everything, including how we perceive and relate to time, is culturally mediated. This linear time of ours means that as we age, we are always moving away from the past. We're always moving away from what was and are always moving towards what will be. For some of us, that means that we are always moving farther away from what felt like home. And we are always losing what felt familiar. For some of us, it means that we are always moving away from who we have been, so that aging is a process of losing ourself. For some of us, this is key to why grief and mourning are so frequently part of our experience of time. But I need you to know that this is simply part of our culture. Other cultures understand time very differently. And instead of lines, their time loops. It rolls through cycles or curls around in spirals. Now, You might dismiss these other chronological constructs. Well, yes, they might have done that, but our time is scientific, absolute, and measured by atoms, which is true. We figured out how to attach our understanding of time to the rate at which certain atoms move. It's a very complicated process, which I cannot fully explain because I cannot fully understand it. It's much more precise than anything we experience as organic beings. For we are organic beings, which are part of a larger cycle of creation, respiration, expiration, and recreation. We can measure our existence as a linear process, but that is a cultural habit. The Maya people of Mesoamerica, they measured time so differently. Their calendars were dazzlingly complex and always depicted in a circle. Their construct of time was way more circular, cyclical, and it spiraled around and around. And instead of tidy little lines and boxes, their calendars were round. Their longest cycle, their biggest circle, was called the long count. And the last long count ended on December 21st, 2012. At that end of that cycle, it was understood that the universe itself would reset. Now, there was some cross-cultural confusion. Linear time folks promoted this as a prediction that the world itself would end. For the Maya, it just meant that the circle would begin again. But in truth, their calendars were constructed and maintained by the priestly class in service to their ruling class, and most ordinary Maya, they would not be able to explain it because they could not fully understand it. It was too complex. Aboriginal people in Australia also construct their time, understand time in circles, and they place what is more important to a person closer to them in time. Aboriginal time is relative, not to the speed of light or the decay of atoms, but relative to the person's experience and relationships. White supremacy culture has real trouble accepting the validity of Aboriginal time. But remember, they have been observing time this way for over 40,000 years. They might have some insights worth considering. Now, perhaps you have actually experienced time that stretches out, that sags in the middle, or constructs abruptly. The long days and longer nights of parenting very young children, this is a time when time grows wobbly and kind of elastic. This is because parenting very young children is an organic process. Even if we establish linear growth charts and celebrate developmental milestones, each child has their own calendar. One kid might be speaking in full sentences when their sibling didn't do that until much later. In our family, like generations of parents, we documented our children's physical growth with marks on a door frame. When it came time to paint the rest of the house, we left those marks on the door frame, painted everything else. Those marks are a little smudged now, but they measured what was closest to us, more meaningful than any wars or decaying atoms. They remind us of a time when time was not tidy, but so much was emerging in our family. And then, if we go into quantum physics, we meet very good scientists who postulate that time is pretty much an irrelevant illusion, that everything is happening all at once. Time can get very loopy and stringy when you dig down past the atoms. So, what if we set aside linear and play with the spirals and the circles, or at least, what if time is like a winding river carving new paths and reconnecting with old ones? If time was loopier, would aging bring us closer to home? Would we be better prepared to deal with the wildfires or pandemics that seem to be part of a larger cycle? What would be different in how we tell the story of this congregation? Because I believe that even if time becomes irrelevant, stories are how we will process this world. This congregation was formed in 1950, and there have been many, many moments. We can string them together to form the story of this place. 2 years ago, we had a consultant who came in, and he put up a timeline on the wall, and he invited people to come and place little cards written with events on this timeline, what happened in each decade or specific years. They taped their memories in a line. This is always a wonderful exercise. It allows people to see events in a larger context and to remember where they have been. And if you talk with folks here, they will remember what the fellowship was like when they first arrived. And they can begin telling you what they have seen since then. And it's always interesting to ask another person for their stories about this place, because they will have a different understanding even than yours. Other records tell the story of this congregation, attendance and membership numbers. The membership book tells the stories of everybody who's joined since 1950, and many names are in that book. This congregation has grown and diminished over the years. This is a common feature in smaller congregations. If you look at the numbers, you can even interpret them as cycles of expansion and contraction. Breathing in, breathing out. I don't know all of the stories of this place, but in that cycle of expansion and contraction, I would expect that we find some coincidental events that precipitated each moment of growth and each moment of diminishment. There might have been a charismatic person who arrived and energized folks to dream together. Perhaps there was a moment when you took a stand in the community and drew the attention of others who decided to join in with your work. Or you might have had the sudden death or departure of beloved people, which left folks wondering how to go onwards with such a hole in your heart. There might have been a moment when there was harm done to a child, and that left folks wondering if this was a safe place. Perhaps there was harm done to an adult that left folks wondering if this was a safe place. Every congregation has its stories. What will be the story about this moment? Before the pandemic began, this congregation was experiencing a very gentle contraction. Since the pandemic, we've had no way of really telling how large or small we might be right now. Nonetheless, there was a steady pulse, enough people doing the work to keep this fellowship alive this past year. For the past year, linear progression has been suspended. And instead, we've experienced more of a slowly swirling eddy, often mixed with uncertainty. This congregation, along with much of the world, feels as if it has been languishing. Many things are going to change pretty soon. Next Sunday, folks will be coming here in person to worship outside all together. We'll live stream the service for folks who can't join us in person. You can be there. I hope you'll be there. This movement back to in-person worship is going to unleash a bunch of energy, maybe a new moment when we will be adding a new loop, a new spiral, a new cycle in the story of this congregation. Will this be a time of new growth or a time of drawing inwards? There are some voices in this congregation calling for a return to what used to be, what they remember falling in love with when they first arrived. Some would like to see this place return to being a smaller, lay-led group of like-minded people, possibly without a minister. That's completely possible. It would probably be a terminal decision. Some would like to see this place doing the hard work to dismantle systems of oppression sustained by faith, but requiring the painful work of examining our own privilege first. This is completely possible, but it would require a collective courage. Some would like to see this place be a place where children are celebrated, listened to, and given both roots and wings. This is possible, but it would require a collective selflessness. What will the next cycle of this story be? Will we repeat old struggles endlessly, or will we carve out a new path? Will this be a time of clarification, discernment, or a time of conflict and division? I don't know how this story will go, but it will not be a smooth line of progress. It will contain loops and eddies and rapids. I don't know how this story will go. It's up to you. May it be so, and blessed be.
At this time in our service, we make a financial offering. You can do so by visiting our website, uuamarillo.org. In the upper right-hand corner, there's a blue donate button that will take you to a secure PayPal page. You can also mail in a check to our office. If you have made a contribution, thank you, and please continue doing so. We extinguish this chalice flame, daring to carry forward the vision of this free faith, that freedom, reason, and justice will one day prevail in this nation across the earth.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
May the fellowship of this hour touch and move our lives until we come again together.
As you go out into this world, please take these words by Langston Hughes. Wave of sorrow, do not drown me now. I see the island still ahead somehow. I see the island and its sands are fair. Wave of sorrow, take me there. Go in peace. Blessed be.